An Estill County landfill is facing state penalties because of radioactive material found near a high school.
A state representative has introduced a bill he says will make county clerks more efficient, but admits could lead to cuts.
And how one wealthy businessman ended up in hot water after sinking his money in a bad investment.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. State investigators say they have found violations at an Estill County landfill where naturally occurring radioactive waste was illegally dumped.
The state is also going after the company that they say delivered the radioactive waste to that landfill. Victor Puente has details in our top story at 5:30.
Kentucky's Department for Environmental Protections hasn't said yet what the penalties may be for these violations. County officials tell me they also plan to penalize that landfill as soon as they know just how much radioactive material was brought into the county. That notice of violation was sent to Blue Ridge Landfill yesterday. In it, the state alleges 4 different violations. They say the people in charge of the landfill were using inaccurate reporting, failed to characterize the release of the radioactive material into the environment, disposed of unpermitted waste, and failed to properly record the source and disposal location of that material. That paperwork says 47 loads came into the landfill. Estill County's judge executive says they're trying to narrow that number down so they know what county ordinances they violated.
Basically, that's around 1,200 to 1,300 tons. We want to know how many tons come in before we can impose the penalties upon them.
Wallace says a waste disposal company in West Liberty, Advanced T-Norm, is responsible for bringing that material to Estill County. Last Friday, the Cabinet for Health and Family Services issued a cease and desist letter to the company and its owner, Corey Hoskins. The address for Advanced T-Norm led us to this home, but no one answered the door. The Cabinet claims the company brought naturally occurring radioactive material from West Virginia to several Kentucky counties. The letter says the company could face fines of up to $100,000 for each time that happened, along with criminal penalties. A spokesperson for the Energy and Environment Cabinet told me that if there are criminal penalties connected to the violations at the landfill, they aren't sure yet which agency would be handling those. In Estill County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Preliminary tests at that landfill showed no radiation in water near the landfill. Lawmakers will discuss some new legislation related to the disposal of radioactive waste tomorrow morning in Frankfort.
A chemical leak of dangerous gas forced employees at a meat processing plant to evacuate their facility this morning. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Bell County. It happened around 10:30 at Smithfield Foods in Middlesboro. An unknown amount of ammonia leaked into the air. The building was evacuated and one employee was taken to the hospital as a precautionary measure.
It did not cause any problem to the environment, and they also have a very good hazmat team here, so they were able to respond to it quickly and get it turned off.
Company officials are still looking into how that leak happened. A similar chemical spill happened at the same facility in 2009. In Carroll County, a couple is facing charges in the death of their 4-day-old child. 29-year-old Lisa Payton and 33-year-old Jared Martin walked into a Carroll County Memorial Hospital last August with their child, claiming the infant had stopped breathing. Police arrested the couple when foul play was suspected. According to her arrest report, Payton admitted to dropping the child while under the influence of drugs. The two have been charged with murder and wanton endangerments. In Jessamine County, a drug investigation by Nicholasville police led to the arrest of more than 20 people. Police say during their investigation, detectives made 49 undercover drug purchases involving heroin, cocaine, oxycodone, and more. 26 people have been charged with varying degrees and counts of trafficking a controlled substance. Police say more charges are expected.
The defense has been given more time to review information in a case involving a triple murder. The ruling came during a hearing for Kenneth Keith. He's accused of killing Michael and Angela Hawkins-Smith and Daniel Smith at a Danville pawn shop 2.5 years ago. The Advocate Messenger reports Keith's next hearing is on May 3rd.
It certainly feels like spring has sprung here in the Bluegrass with temperatures around the mid-70s today.
Oh, it's nice out there, but spring air is bringing along with it some possible showers and thunderstorms. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. Those showers and storms will arrive into most areas as we go into our Thursday afternoon and evening. I think we squeeze out one more day for many of us into the 70s. That is tomorrow. 77 degrees right now, Jackson and Prestonsburg. chances are there were many car thermometers, those bank thermometers, that were hitting 80 degrees this afternoon across eastern Kentucky. Yet it's 60 into Covington, 59 Fort Knox. Those are areas getting in on some rain. Filtered sunshine, Lexington. Look up the road, though, Florence, northern Kentucky. How about that nasty afternoon and evening commute with a lot of rain into far northern Kentucky and back toward the Louisville metro area as well. Frankfort, we've been on the dividing line. Rain to our west, sun to our south and east. That Jackson Cam lighting up better part of the day with a lot of clear skies. Rain right now targeting parts in northern Kentucky with some heavier downpours from Williamstown toward the Covington-Cincinnati area. Break across I-65. Heavy rain, western Kentucky. All of that gearing up to head our way over the next couple of days. We could be talking about a lot of water coming from the skies at times over the next 4 or 5 days. Now, if you're out this evening, just a chance for a shower. Parts of northern and western sections of the area. Most of the region will stay dry with temperatures into the 60s. When I come back in a few minutes, we'll talk about an active spring pattern with rounds of thunderstorms and heavy rains, guys. A new hour-by-hour forecast just ahead.
A Senate committee today passed 2 bills to scale back mine safety laws in Kentucky. According to our partners at the Lexington Herald-Leader, the committee voted 6-1 on a bill ending state inspections of coal mines, leaving them up to federal inspectors. They also passed a bill ending mandatory state safety training for mine foremen, giving companies the option to offer their own training, and both now head to the full Senate for debate. When Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis refused to issue marriage licenses last year, she caused a national dialogue over many issues, including the power of county clerks.
Now, one state representative has introduced a bill that would significantly limit the tasks typically administered by county clerks, a move he says will make the government more efficient. WKYT Sean Moody has more from Frankfort in the story that's new at 5:30.
Representative Dennis Keene said he proposed this bill to start a conversation. He says county clerks' offices could be a lot more efficient.
Keene said this bill grew out of a conversation he had with students at Northern Kentucky University.
The county clerk's office was something that they had brought up. So we started looking at what Ohio's doing, what Indiana's doing.
Today he told the House Standing Committee on Local Government this bill would shift a lot of work away from county clerks.
County clerks would no longer have the responsibility or the expense of maintaining deeds, issuing marriage license, and recording county ordinances or issuing permits.
Keene says they're exploring ways to make it easier for taxpayers to get business done.
In Ohio, you can go in and get your license tags by a kiosk in a 24-hour grocery store. That's the stuff that's out there.
The committee considered how the shift would affect county revenue.
The clerk's office is one of the few offices that actually returns excess fees back to the county to offset other operations of the county. And as we know in this committee, our local governments are strapped. They have a tough time being able to do the things that they do without us taking money out of their pockets.
Keene said there's also been concern from county clerks themselves.
They're just worried that the end of the world's happening and we're just going to abolish them. And there's nothing further from that. We still need our county clerks.
Now, while Keene said that counties will still need their clerks, in a statement on his website, he said they may need fewer staff because of the decreased workload. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
If the bill moves forward, it would go into effect in 2019. We reached out to the Kentucky County Clerks Association, but they did not want to comment. The Kentucky Department for Public Health is advising parents of college students to make sure their child is up to date on vaccination for protection against mumps. Health officials say recent cases at UK and U of L underscore the importance of vaccines for college students. They encourage college students to make sure they are up to date on the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine by having 2 doses at least 28 days apart.
Did you know that heating water accounts for up to 30% of the average home's energy budget? Any technology that claimed it could cut those expenses in half could be revolutionary. So one wealthy investor thought so and sunk a lot of money on a product that landed him in hot water.
Telling people huge stories of how this water heater was going to conquer the world.
Warren believed the idea of an instant hot water supply could revolutionize the home appliance business.
I'd gone on the internet and researched the company to see what the stock was selling at, see where they were at. Everything seemed to be good.
He decided to invest in the product still in the planning stages. Warren knew people who worked for the company. They told him they needed his money to finish the product prototype.
I gave them almost everything I had. with the intent that it was going to be back in 90 days.
More than 3 months passed and Warren didn't get his money back, and no progress was made on launching the water heater. He even told a friend he was becoming concerned.
Something's wrong here, Warren. These guys are driving big fancy cars, they're building big houses. They're not using their money. Something's wrong.
His friend was right. Instead of production, the money was being used on expensive cars, dinners, and property.
One of the defendants actually had a custom home built, and his payment was over $10,000 a month just for that home.
Authorities say 2 executives from the company diverted investor money for their own personal use to the detriment of investors.
But they would be able to get shares themselves, and then through a shell game of sorts with these shares, were able to artificially inflate the price, award themselves even more shares, and then at the end of the day, when the music stopped, the investors were left without anything, while the fraudsters were able to enrich themselves from $0 to $6.8 million in about 3 years.
There were more than 150 victims. Some advice for investors: diversify your assets. Warren learned this the hard way.
Probably my biggest mistake was putting all of my ducks in one basket.
Tough lesson to learn. Warren lost all of his $2 million investment. As for the 2 men accused of diverting funds from the investors, they face more than 150 charges, and they're still waiting for their trial.
Still ahead on WKYT, a rally in Frankfort today in support of a bill requiring children to wear bike helmets in Kentucky.
I'm Bill Bryant. Kentucky Democrats add to the majority in the Kentucky House, and developer Dudley Webb acknowledges frustrations from people in Lexington about Centerpoint. The bottom line is ahead.
And later at 6 o'clock, a well-known Pulaski County businessman is in the hospital fighting for his life after an accidental shooting.
For all your hearth and grill needs, shop barnhillchimney.com.
Think for a moment. You don't think twice about having your eyes tested, but what about your hearing? Hi, I'm Marcia Mattingly. At Beltone, we've helped thousands of people lead richer, fuller lives by showing them that they can hear the way they should. At Beltone, a free hearing test can determine if you need hearing help. Call now. You have everything to gain. 50 years and 3 generations serving the tri-state with the most trusted name in hearing aids, Beltone.
Value City Furniture presents How to Get Inspired. First, get inspired. Okay, that's not doing it. Go out. Look around. Shop the boutiques.
Get up, Carl.
Find something you love. When you're ready to buy, head to Value City Furniture, where you can always find furniture just like at the boutiques, but at prices that will make you much more comfortable.
That's perfect.
And that's how to buy the perfect piece at Value City Furniture.
At Hair Win, we've been helping people for 125 years.
If you've been injured in a life-changing accident, we can help.
Contact us at helpingkentucky.com.
Hair Win. Visit helpingkentucky.com.
All right, come on, everybody, it's time to go.
Getting more for your money is simpler than you might think. When you shop at Kroger, you get low prices throughout the store, weekly specials, great value from our quality brands, digital coupons, and even fuel points to help you save at the pump. No spin, just savings.
The Buy 5, Save $5 event is on. Mix and match items like Bounty paper towels, Land O'Lakes butter, Coca-Cola, and more. Great food, low prices at Kroger.
Savor something different every day. Just ask for the $3 sub of the day at Subway restaurants. A different 6-inch sub every day for only $3. Classics like the meatball marinara and Italian BMT, plus favorites like the turkey breast and turkey and black forest ham. 7 days, 7 subs, $3. Subway, founded on fresh.
Ever take a whiff of a smoker's hair? You're smelling contamination that remains after the cigarette is out. Smokers actually emit very harmful toxins from clothing, hair, and skin, even if they no longer smell like it. Think about that and pay attention to everyone who picks up your child.
Kentucky Democrats have increased their majority in the House after yesterday's special elections.
And could it be the beginning of the end for Marco Rubio's presidential campaign? Bill Bryant has the details in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. After all is said and done, with lots of talk of Republicans attempting a mid-session takeover of the state house, Democrats actually increased their majority in yesterday's special elections. Democrats won 3 of the 4 special elections and will now hold a 53-47 advantage in the House. Kentucky remains the only state in the South with a legislative chamber controlled by Democrats. The one-party flip was the victory by Scott County farmer Chuck Tackett, who defeated Republican Philip Pratt. The 2 candidates are also running for the full term and will likely meet again in November. House Speaker Greg Stumbo called it a rebirth of the Kentucky Democratic Party and signaled it will embolden House Democrats to oppose some of Governor Bevin's proposed $650 million in budget cuts. Developer Dudley Webb says it is full steam ahead at the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington. He acknowledges frustration with setbacks, including the Great Recession, a high-dollar investor who died, and the city not agreeing to help with bonds a couple of years ago. Also, during an interview with me for Kentucky Newsmakers, he said he realizes that Lexingtonians feel the project is a very important part of their downtown.
And that's why I felt so bad about it. I literally have spent about 18 hours a day, I think, for the last 5 years trying to get this deal done. And it's not easy. It's the largest private undertaking ever done in Fayette County.
The full interview with Webb runs this Sunday morning on Kentucky Newsmakers. CBS News reporting that Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio's campaign is having serious talks about how they move forward. The talk comes after another big night for Donald Trump, who was victorious in Michigan, Louisiana, and Hawaii. The Democrats, Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, debate tonight after they split the delegates yesterday. Clinton won Mississippi, while Sanders pulled off an upset in Michigan. Back in Kentucky, McCreary County bucked a recent trend in southern Kentucky and decided by a narrow 32-vote margin to keep the area dry in a special election yesterday on alcohol sales. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Supporters gathered in the state capitol today to rally for a bill that would require children to wear bike helmets in Kentucky. House Bill 254, also known as TJ's bill, is named for TJ Floyd, who suffered a traumatic brain injury after hitting his head on the concrete while riding his bike. TJ's bill was introduced to the Transportation Committee in January. It's not been brought up for a vote yet.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Beautiful day for many of us across central and eastern Kentucky. As expected, temperatures well into the 70s, even tickling 80 into southeastern Kentucky, though you don't have to go too far to our west to pick up on some cooler temperatures. Why are we seeing such a contrast? Well, it's been raining in parts of the Ohio River counties today, getting close to the bluegrass region, but not quite in here just yet. So a nice evening is in store. Those rains have been working across the Louisville metro, heading toward Covington and Cincinnati, grazing northern Scott County, northern parts of Franklin County. Most of that, again, now lifting up toward the Dry Ridge area, Florence, y'all, and into the Covington, Cincy area. Southwest we go into western Kentucky. This is where I expect some flooding to come tonight, tomorrow morning. Heavy rains between Bowling Green and Paducah may total 5 or 6 inches over the next 24 hours. We're not talking about that heavy of a rain event over the course of the next 24 hours, but some heavier downpours likely as we go throughout Thursday. Thursday, farther east you are, the drier you are until late in the day. Scattered shower, thunderstorm Friday morning. Better chance coming up again Saturday as warm air lifts back in. It's kind of a little roller coaster ride as we go through the next couple of days, though more ups than downs. Trust me on that one. Hour by hour forecast will focus on Lexington this go around. By 11 this evening, it's still 60 degrees. No rain out there just yet. Dry to start out the day tomorrow. We go through 1 o'clock into the afternoon. Here's the deal tomorrow. If you have sunshine and the rain holds off until the afternoon, late in the afternoon, you're going to be 75 to 80. If you get the rain in a little earlier, west of 75 especially, you're going to notice temperatures that are a little cooler. Through 5 o'clock, this particular model slowed down the progress of the rain into central Kentucky tomorrow. Probably not really agreeing with that. I think it gets in a little quicker than 8 tomorrow evening. But heavy downpours will become likely as we go through the evening and into tomorrow night, when showers and thunderstorms will finally taper off into Friday morning. By Friday afternoon, it's a little cooler with temperatures into the low and mid 60s. How about your Friday night out on the town? 50, so jacket weather. This is a big rain event for the Mississippi Valley. It could be better than 10 inches of rain in some parts of Arkansas. Across Kentucky, inch or two across central and eastern Kentucky, 6+ western parts of the area. Overall, though, this is spread out over a 4 or 5 day period. So some local high water issues, especially western Kentucky, possibility. There's the little dip on Friday. There's a big spike on Saturday to 75. But all told, over the next 7 days, see a lot of spring-like temperatures in the 60s and 70s for highs. Any one day can feature showers and thunderstorms where you live. A lot of dry times in there, guys. It's a spring pattern. Not going to rain all the time, but every day will feature at least a chance.
Love to zero in on the weekend when it looks like that for sure.
Absolutely mild this weekend.
Good deal, Chris. Thank you.
Mason County headed back to the Sweet 16, Rob.
First time in 5 years for the Royals. They had to come from behind in last night's region final, and a word that John Calipari has been saying a lot over the last week or so: confidence. What a team needs going into the postseason. Sports is next.
Demi Lovato and Nick Jonas perform at the hottest event of the season, the Victoria's Secret Swim Special. CBS Tonight.
CBS Tonight, there are lady killers.
Would it be wrong for me to kiss you goodbye?
And then there are lady killers.
I'm guessing these sexy baddies are behind it all.
It's the season's 2 final episodes.
Ready?
To die for.
We have to get them off the street before they kill again.
New CSI Cyber on a special night tonight.
It's spring. Time to tackle the tackle box. Get organized. Untangled. It's time to get ready. Stock up. Maybe try something new. And chartreuse? This year, let's go wacky and weedless. So you get the monster, and your buddy can get the net. Cabela's Spring Great Outdoor Days, the biggest sale and event of the season. Get 30% off all in-stock Cabela's fishing rods. In-store and online now.
What do these women have in common? They are the staff of Ageless Medical Weight Loss. They've lost a combined 1,300 pounds. The team at Ageless will understand your struggles and celebrate your victories. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
Sleep is a critical component of our athletic training at UK.
Our sleep experts are the champions at matching our customers to the best bed for them.
This week at Sleep Outfitters, get a free TV with qualifying purchase, like this Sealy Pillow Top Queen set with gel foam, now only $4.99, plus a free TV. Go to sleepoutfitters.com for store locations and hours.
Sleep Outfitters, official sleep provider of UK Athletics. Sleep like a champion, play like a champion. Make a fast break for great savings now.
Big Blue Nation, it's Paul Miller Ford's Matchup Sales Event. Huge savings on Kentucky's most popular brand. 0% financing for 60 months available, or lease for less. New 2015 Ford Focus, lease for only $139 per month on a 36-month lease. New 2016 Ford Fusions, lease for only $169 a month on a 36-month lease. New 2016 Ford F-150s as low as $20,990.
Point, click, drive. PaulMillerFord.com.
Saving enough money for your child's college education can seem overwhelming. But with Kentucky's 529 College Savings Plan, it's easy to start and easy to save. And best of all, you could save on taxes too. The Kentucky Education Savings Plan Trust. Start your child's future today at kysaves.com/college.
When you play Kentucky lottery games like Pick 3 and Pick 4, you help Kentucky college students pick up scholarship money.
Fueling imagination.
Funding education.
Where can you satisfy your craving for a delicious 100% Alaskan cod meal? Right here at Long John Silver's. Enjoy our tasty 2-piece hand-battered Alaskan cod basket, hand-dipped in our classic batter, now for just $5.99. Because at Long John Silver's, you deserve more.
I'm WKYT's Miranda Combs, and I stand for Kentucky.
The SEC tournament starts tonight with one game, and the honors just keep coming for the Wildcats. Tyler Eulis of Sporting News, first-team All-American. Jamal Murray named to the All-Freshman team. Kentucky is a completely healthy team for the first time in what seems like a long time. There have been stretches when one player or another has been out, but not now as we head into the postseason. Closing things out at Rupp Arena last weekend, John Calipari believes he sees a confident team.
Everybody's mentally ready and fresh and
Most of us are healthy, so we're just going to go out there and compete today and have a good practice and just get ready for the games.
When you're throwing to guys and they're missing one-footers and layups and missing wide-open shots that are almost air balls, it's, you know, right now we got a confident team. So you're going to, the way we play, which is we're playing fast, we're trying to score in the first 10 seconds, that's how we're playing. But we're also grinding.
Last night, the Mason County Royals punched their ticket to the boys' Sweet 16 for the 15th time in school history. They had to rally to beat Augusta 48-41. Mason County, ranked 5th in the region to start the year, and in the last week, lost the district to Augusta on a buzzer beater, beat Scott on a buzzer beater, and then coming from behind in the semifinals and finals to head to Rupp Arena.
My team, we got to keep our heads. If we keep our heads, we'll be all right. Basketball is a game. You got to keep your mind straight. If you get out of it in your head, then game's over. You're out of it. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Nothing.
Resiliency and heart. We've been down so much this year. It was normal for us. I think we play better from behind. We really do. We were down 19 last night, 14 to Campbell County. You know, 2 or 3 points is no big deal to these guys. But you're right, nobody expected us to be here. I'm not even sure anybody expected us to get out of the district. But all the credit goes to these kids. They're wonderful, and they did a fantastic job.
On to football. Mark Stoops will have his team back on the practice field for the second workout of the spring tomorrow morning. After Tuesday's practice, receiver Garrett Johnson said things were more disciplined under new offensive coordinator Eddie Grant. Tight end C.J. Conrad, who's heading into his sophomore year, talked about how the offense is different.
It's more of a pro-style offense, I say. Now, we're not under center and stuff like that, but the things we can do, we have a lot more formations than we did in the past. So, you know, maybe we're doing the same play, but out of 6 or 7 different formations. So that's totally different look for the defense, which is awesome. Moves me around a lot, moves the receivers around a lot. It gives the ball to our playmakers.
Linebacker Danny Trevathan signing a 4-year contract with the Bears. Much more coming up. Stay with us.